So this is the no-fly zone, and it's designed for a home series or a pro series. All right, so I have two pieces from my molded bracket that I've separated, and I basically just unscrewed the Phillips head screws. I've unseparated. I'm gonna put one in my back pocket here and then show you the best way to really install this. I've got it propped up the front of my frame with the box that it came in, just so I get a little bit off the ground and it's a little bit easier to install the rear support in having it, that front lip elevated. You could also do this with two people if you want. I just used the box that it came with, elevated the front of the net, and now what I'm gonna do is connect my rear molded piece into the existing frame with the sleeve. Then I'm gonna connect the rear piece together here with my screwdriver. You wanna make sure the Phillips head screws are facing out rather than in. You want the Phillips head screws access this way. It's just easier to install. Once I have it started, then what I'm gonna do is just adjust it a little bit so that I'm gonna have about 2 inches or so on the rear of the frame itself. So now that I have all these screws started in here, what I'm gonna do is take the rear of the frame and just make sure it's nice and level on here, and then kind of lock it down. All right, now that I've got my first component connected to the rear of the frame here, I have about 1 inch of distance between the connection and the actual rear of the frame itself. And that is gonna give you a nice straight edge in terms of your uppermost bend here. So again, you wanna make sure your Phillips head screwdrivers are facing out here. Very easy, don't secure them just yet. I mean, get them pretty snug, but not too crazy. And now we'll go and install our second support on the front of that bar, and then this side of the no-fly zone will be installed. All right, so now that I've got the second one just started here, it's really important just to note on each clamp that you pull the sleeve back away from the tube as you're clamping it together. And what that will do is that'll make sure that the sleeve doesn't get caught up or bound into the clamp itself. So it'll keep the sleeve free from the clamp, and you won't damage your sleeve at all, okay? You don't have to go super tight, you just gotta kind of make it snug here, okay? So you see I'm farther down from my push button, I'm below my second stripe here. My logo's facing outside, my screw heads are facing outside in terms of the Phillips head. And make sure, again, I'm pulling it away from the clamp as I'm tightening it so that my sleeve doesn't get compressed in the clamp itself. But it's literally that easy. And now let's go do the same thing for the other side. Now that we've installed the clamps on both sides, you're going to want to grab a partner who's going to basically help you stand up the net, and we're going to tip it over onto its back and install the actual no-fly zone itself. So let's first stand it up, and now we're going to tip it onto its back. At this point, you can remove the box that the package came in. And now what we'll do is we'll install this rear netting component. So now in terms of installing your rear netting component, the patch is always going to go to the left. So you have the front patch on your net, and this could be a home series or a pro series. The installation of the no-fly zone is identical on both units. But we have the patch facing forward, and now our no-fly zone patch is going to be off to the left of that. So we're going to basically slide now the green sleeve. If you have a home series no-fly zone, it's going to be a black sleeve onto the left side of the net with the no-fly zone logo there. I'll then move across to the other side, slide that down, and now we have installed the rear netting component for the no-fly zone. Now we're going to stand the unit back up and put our final ties in place. Now that we've installed and stood up our no-fly zone, let's take the 4 ties that we have and we're gonna basically just tie the back of it so if a ball hits it, it doesn't fly through the no-fly zone. So let's basically just tie up the rear of it to finish the installation of the no-fly zone. So I'm just gonna locate any random hole and just do a gentle knot as I feed this through. So all you're looking to do really is just make sure that this flap doesn't kick up if a ball hits the no-fly zone. So we'll do one there. I'll go to my other side, and then I'll do the same. So all this is doing is really just protecting this lip from flying up if you really hit a ball real hard. So that's the 3rd one. We'll do the last final 4th one here. Again, just pick a spot, and I'm just making, again, a simple knot, not too crazy tight. And now, this makes sure that a ball comes up top, never kicks through, but gets knocked down behind the net. That completes the installation of your no-fly zone. What's really important to note, the no-fly zone is going to give you approximately 8 to 10 inches of additional coverage above your net. It's also angled at like a 45-degree angle so that you have the no-fly zone extending out over the front of your net as well. It's tied down in the back so no balls shoot through. It's gonna add additional height to your Pro Series net or your Home Series net. So in this case, a Pro Series net, which this unit is 7 feet 6 inches tall. This is gonna add, it's gonna take you to about 8 feet 4 inches tall, roughly. In this video, I'm showing you it in front of a Home Series. A Home Series net is 7 feet tall, a little under 7 feet tall, and the no-fly zone is going to give you approximately 8 to 10 inches above the frame itself. So what's important to note about the no-fly zone is going to give you additional safety. Balls coming up, so if you're using our simulator screen and you're getting balls to skip up, you may want to think about a no-fly zone as well, because it's out on a 45-degree angle. But it's a great addition if you're worried about working with a lot of beginners, but it's real simple in terms of how it works. A ball hits the no-fly zone, and it gets deposited beyond the rear of the net, okay? So it hits it, and it drops that ball right down behind the rear of the net. So this is a no-fly zone product from the Net Return, basically the same installation for a Pro Series as a Home Series. Any additional questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. And again, thank you so much for watching.